Hello everybody, and thank you for coming back. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to this whole new series, which is going to be quite a long one, I think, where I'm going to build the Antonov 2. It's a free flight design by Harold J. Towner. Some of you might know I'm trying to build the Towner models, and I've got to admit that they are quite complex. So if anybody else has been doing them or knows about people doing them, I would very much like to hear their opinion, because I think they're very well built, very well designed, but they're not easy. I'm going to say from that perspective. So this is it's a biplane. If you don't know the model, it's a biplane. I think designed originally in 1946. There's a little bit of a history here. The plan is from AutoZone, so you can also find it there. And Soviet built, mostly I believe in Poland up until the 90s, well into the 90s, maybe even the 2000s, and in use in pretty much the Eastern Bloc. I'm lucky to live in an area where these are still in use. I still see them being used for sky jumping. They are being used, and so once in a while I manage to see them, and they are up close. The real things are really huge, a huge four-bladed propeller that is there on the nose. Now the model, as I say, it is quite complex. It was designed for a 1 cubic centimeter motor, as you can see there, but I'll be doing electric RC. That's the plan, at least. And the more I look at the plan, the more I'm thinking that I might have taken maybe bitten off a bit more than I can chew. But I'm going to give it a try. The first challenge that I see is that I'm not sure what width or what thickness of balsa to use. I haven't found it anywhere. I'll go on looking. If not, then I'll probably go for 1 to 2.5 millimeter, depending on the area. So probably the spars will be something like 2.5 millimeter, because I have some stock of that. The leading edges, I think they're going to be probably like 6 millimeter. I have to see, it's like 1/4 inch or something like that, maybe even more. So I'm going to have to figure it out as I go. The more I look at it, the more complex it gets. So I think I'm going to stop looking at it and start to build. A big challenge is going to be the canopy. Here it has the picture for the exhaust, and I think the instruction for the canopy is here. It says quite easy, right? So canopy made with 18 gauge wire soldered and clear plastic inserts. That's the instruction. So not so easy to do. The instructions are, there's a bit of an instruction here about how to build it. As with many of the Towner models that I've done, it's built on the plan. The fuselage is built on the top half, and then it's removed, and then the bottom half is built. Here are the formers for the fuselage, these big ones. I've got a pencil here to point, so these are the formers for the fuselage. Here are where the wings actually then go. It's a biplane, so a lot of ribs, a lot of wings to go on. In width, it's almost 30 inches, 55 centimeters, so it's quite wide, but it is at the same time also quite stubby. So it doesn't have a long fuselage, but quite a wide wingspan. I think it's going to be heavy because of the sheer material that it has. The instructions point to sheeting, so not on the fuselage at least. It's going to be 1 millimeter balsa sheeting, which again will give it some strength, but at the same time will also give it some weight. And I've got to also figure out how I'm going to do all the electronics. The center of gravity is somewhere here, if you can see it, and here's where the engine would go. These would be the heavy internal combustion engines, and it doesn't have very much of an arm. As you can see, from the center of gravity to the front is not much, so I'm going to have to squeeze in here the motor, the ESC, and the battery probably all in here, and maybe even the servos. I'm not sure how I'll do that, because there's not much of an arm, so as not to have to put weighting at the front, I have to squeeze everything I can in the front. So that's already a challenge that I'm seeing. And then I think a lot of challenges. It's going to keep me busy for quite a while. A lot of challenges overall, but that is the whole point of it, right? And hopefully one of the points of making this is that it's a single engine. I do dream of making twin engines, but hopefully the single engine will give me some practice also. And at least in the real thing is quite a slow flyer, so I'm hoping this is also a slow flyer, and therefore hopefully easier to control. So that's a bit of the thought behind it. About ailerons, I think I'll probably go with ailerons just on one of the wings, not on both wings. I think the real one has ailerons on top and bottom wing. but I'll probably put it just on the top wing. This is the top wing, so I'll probably put it in there, and then I'll figure out along the way. I'm not sure where to start. The more I look at it, as I say, the more scared I am of it. I'm thinking of starting maybe with a tail plane, because it's a smaller piece and I have material for that, so maybe that's the place to start while I go into the shop and get some more wood and basically battle through it. So this is it, I think. I'm not sure if I'm missing out any big points. I still have to study the plan. Like, I've already looked at it for a while. I'll have to read it, all the instructions and every bit a couple of times more. A curiosity also, if you look over here, these are floats. They are designed also for floats. I have never seen an Antonov 2 on floats. Never even looked for an image of that. I have to look for it maybe. And I won't be doing the floats. It's interesting that they're there, but I won't be doing it. It's hard enough for me to find a place to fly. On top of it, now find a lake to fly. That'll be even more difficult, and I have no idea how to do it. But interesting that the design is there for the float planes, also for the floats to fly as a float plane. And as I say, still have to study it, and next chapter will probably be already starting of the build. What part, I still have to decide. In any case, as I say, thank you everybody if you give your comments and your tips and recommendations, because I will need this. It's going to be a hard one, this one, and it's probably going to keep me busy until Christmas, I guess. And as I always say, thank you everybody for watching and for following along, and I'll see you next time.